Welcome to Android App Addicts, episode number 24. The show where we go over Android apps for your enjoyment, for your Android pleasure. And we got about four guest hosts on the show today. We're all going to bring apps to the table and let you guys know what we think about them. And hopefully you can get some good ideas for yourself of some apps maybe you could download on your Android devices and such. And then Jose, who's on the call, he's going to he's going to make me cry anyway because he has something that I want desperately, and he's going to show it off to us. So that sounded kind of funny, but you'll see what it is later. Anyway, let's introduce the host of the show. In the upper left-hand corner is Door-to-Door Geek, Steve McLaughlin. Yo, Door.
Hello, all.
What is going on with you?
I'm tired of saying snow, but more friggin' snow.
I heard about that. I was watching Mike Tech's show tonight, and he's like, I'm sore from shoveling.
Yeah, well, I knew it was bad when I couldn't stop the sweat from hitting my glasses as I was shoveling. That's when I knew it was time for this fat boy to take a break.
Next is Tim Kelly from timscomputerfix.com. What's up, Tim?
Hey, everybody. Pleasure to be here. And it's going to be 61 degrees here tomorrow. Door.
Great, yeah.
Jeez.
Timster, my brother's seriously thinking about moving to Savannah.
Really?
Yeah, he drove down to Florida to scope out places, and he went through Savannah and fell in love with the place.
Yeah, it's a really historic, laid-back city for its population. So
yeah,
it is a beautiful city. So yeah,
cool.
Hey,
figured you'd like that.
Yeah.
Jose Quesada from computerdoctor.com, computer with a Q, Qomputer.
Hey guys, how's it going? I'm glad to be here with you guys again.
Glad to have you here. Thanks for coming on the show.
No problem.
And Steve D in the right side of the screen there, Steve D'Amico from smecomputer.net and stevendamico.com. Hey, Steve.
Hey, hey.
Hey, hey. Okay, Dor, why don't you start us off this week?
Okay, first app I'm going to throw out there, it's literally a throwaway app, I'm going to say, and it's called IE6. Anyone who's been using computers for more than just a couple years, as soon as you download this app and run it, you're going to realize why you hated IE6 so much. Because you would constantly get an error message, and then you would try to click stuff and it really wouldn't work. And then if you would drag that window around, it would cause a weird echo effect inside of the IE then window below the toolbar above the status bar. And that's all this app does. It gives you that same stupid effect of like waiting for something to happen, and you would drag the window around and it would just sit there.
Oh, serious? That's what it does?
That's all it does.
That's killer. I love that effect.
Yeah.
There's that effect, that's the effect where you're so mad at your computer for crashing, but then it's so cool to play around with that you kind of forgive it. You know what I mean? It's so cool to move that window around.
Yes,
yeah,
because it helped make the time go by a little bit quicker.
Very cool. I like that app. I didn't know it did that. I thought it was like actually IE or something like that.
Same here.
I saw an image of that somewhere, and the caption said something to the effect of, "Yeah, you might have Chrome, but can your browser do this?"
That's great.
Yeah, that was one I just had to throw out there. My next app is an app I'm actually going to double talk about because I'm going to talk about it here, and then when I actually show up for an episode of Linux for the rest of us, I'm going to talk about it too. It is called Ubuntu Pocket Reference. I actually have it running here on my laptop. Another reason to watch the video cast. All it is a quick list of things you can do in Ubuntu to achieve a quick task. This is in no way, shape, or form anything close to being a complete pocket reference. This is just a quickie for some things. Like it gives you some key application names that aren't obvious inside Ubuntu, like the file manager. It's called Nautilus. For the uncomplicated firewall, this is the easiest firewall to enable, disable, block ports, or enable ports on your local computer. All it is UFW space allow space port number. And that's the kind of thing that this application tells you about. These quick things, how to get things done. It's great to have in your pocket and just look at once in a while to remind yourself some of the things you can do. I'll say two of the things that I believe are incorrect in this is under system. There's a thing it calls recovery. This involves the magic sysrec key that no application or no operating system has used in 20 plus years. You used to be able to hold down Alt, print screen, and like B, and your computer would reboot. Things like that. Ubuntu specifically blocks that key combination. I'm 99% sure. The other key combination it blocks is Control Alt and backspace. On most Linux distribution, it will quickly kill everything in the GUI and restart the X server, which is like doing a quick boot in Windows where all you really do is log out, log in, but everything restarts. There's the only two things I found that were not accurate in this, but everything else spot on, dead on, quick little descriptions just to help you get by.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm personally a fan of that app.
It looked like you were running Ubuntu too on that computer with the screencast. Is that right?
Of course.
Okay.
That's all I run around here.
All right.
Partially because I'm lazy, and I'll say it just works. There's not a lot of leg work I have to do to get anything up and running.
Yeah.
The next app I'm going to talk about, I'm going to admit I've only used for about 45 seconds. But there's no doubt in my mind this is a very full app, a very flexible app, and a very reliable app, and an app that will get plenty of updates. And I'll say again, this is a paid app, which I know this is against my norm, but this is by Gina Trapani.
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 What's the name of it?
To-do.txt space touch. This is a very simplistic to-do app. Here's the kicker, here's the key. It syncs to your Dropbox. So any place you install this app and you have Dropbox installed, you'll get the same to-do list. So you can run it on your desktop, different app, but it's the same back end. You can run it on multiple Android devices. For instance, if you had a Galaxy Tab, which I didn't, or if you just had it on different computers, it would sync to your Dropbox, so that to-do list is very easily accessible from anywhere. I firmly believe we should not only support things that support us, but we should support smart people who have a habit of doing things right, people who think outside the box and do good work. And I believe she does very good work.
Definitely. Steve, that app right there is really important, I think, considering the number of devices now. We're talking about all these tabs that are going to be coming out, these tablets, not only just for your desktop computers, but your laptops, your phones, and now your tablets with the Android tablets. So and syncing with Dropbox, man, is like key to being to being just an average to-do app versus a pretty awesome app. I mean, Dropbox is awesome. You add that functionality to it, it makes it a pretty important app to have.
Wow, this is exactly what I was looking for. This is what I used Google Docs to achieve. My stupid hat is just making me completely freaking. It's invisible. And I used Google Docs to achieve this, and then I switched to using Remember the Milk to do it. But this looks like it'll do an even better job than Remember the Milk.
Well, I tell you, here's the thing I really like about this application. On Linux computers, there is a simple command line application where all you do is you type to-do space plus get milk space, enter, and that adds a task. And there are little things you can do to be more dynamic about adding a task or minus and the task to like mark it as done. Very simplistic, very efficient, very easy to do from anywhere in Linux kind of thing because it's a command. And if you want, you can very easily create a Glade or a Python GUI to list everything and do what you want to do there. So ultra flexible. All it is a simple text file in the background. And here's the thing, Steve, you know and I know, I love my Pogo plug. This is the perfect use case to still have a Dropbox account. The plus is now I never have to worry about running out of disk space on my Dropbox because I have my Pogo plug for my files. The Dropbox is for the community garbage, as I put it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that makes sense. Seriously, Dropbox and Pogo plug is for like larger. I use it for like larger files, and I use Dropbox for like quick little things.
Right, and I just love the fact that with Pogo plug, when I do have a large file, I can go through the interface, say dismount drive, yank it out of my Pogo plug, stick it in my computer, copy it over as quick as it can, then plug it back in the device.
Right. That's the only thing about the cloud that's a bummer is you don't have that quick access to it. I don't know why I'm completely green. I feel like the I gotta adjust the color on that camera. It's so bad. It's so bad. I'm not sick, and I don't usually look like this. So. But yeah, I know that's the cool thing about having the Pogo plug. I think you should do. Like some people use Dropbox as a replacement, or Pogo plug as a replacement for Dropbox. I like using them both. They do both do separate things well. So
I absolutely, utterly concur.
Good.
I love my Dropbox for what it is, and then I love the extra features and ability I get from my Pogo plug.
Exactly.
Okay, the last app I wanted to bring out, this is really a shallow app, I'll say, because this is only going to serve maybe 2% of the podnutz audience, but I like the app and I wanted to mention it.
Okay. It
is called Fight Time MMA Pool Predictions, which is much too long of a name for what this application does. MMA, mixed martial arts, UFC, Strikeforce, all these organizations have mixed martial arts competitions and fights. This is a simple app. You go in and you say, okay, these two people are fighting. It asks you who's going to win, what round, what minute, and how are they going to win. And the more accurate you are, the more points you get. And every month you can take a look at the leaderboard and see how you fare.
Really?
Yes, this and supposedly you can win something out of this app, but it's very unclear to me how you can win anything from it.
That's convenient.
Yes. I'll say this drove home the point that I really know next to nothing about MMA. I just like watching it.
Oh, it's great to watch. It's good.
Yeah.
I'm not one for watching injuries of a sort,
right.
But there's something about throwing a punch at a guy's face and just knocking him out cold and watching that on TV that's, I don't know.
Well, I'll say this. I'm not going to lie. I kind of like it for the same reason I like old school wrestling. I like seeing when someone's trained to the nth degree and they're able to perform and do things that normal people can't do, amongst other
it's
things.
It's real, and like
right, it's real, exactly.
Well, I'll say this: old wrestling promoter said anything with too much money in it is fixed, and he was saying, baseball's fixed, boxing's fixed, everything else is fixed. There's starting to be a lot of money in UFC, and if you ever watch Strikeforce, you can believe that's fixed. I'll just say that because it looks really crappy.
Really?
But UFC, you see stuff, just unbelievable, bouts of strength that nobody can do on, if they rehearse some of the things they do.
Yeah.
But yet on the fly, they can do it.
You know what I really like? I know. You know what I really like about it? Like some moves they do so fast that you have to watch the replay because you don't even realize what happened. Like next thing you know, the guy's flat on the ground, completely knocked out. And then they showed a replay, and the guy got like a knee to the face. But it was so like inconspicuous and fast that you just totally missed it. But we're getting a little off the subject here.
Yeah,
I like
these guys.
I like MMA though.
Yeah, those guys are really talented, and I personally, to me, it's like my dad when he was a kid watching boxing. Same kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, he had boxing. Now boxing is horrible, so we have MMA.
Good stuff, Dor.
Thank you. And I did have just one piece of news.
News we'll do later. We'll do later.
Mhm.
Timster,
Yes.
what do you want to talk about today?
Yeah. An application has been around a long time since social media almost, I think. And I have to talk about it because I'm using it, trying it out. It's a great application for social media. TweetDeck. We haven't talked about it here.
Good one.
Facebook, Foursquare, Buzz. You've been working with Buzz still, I do believe. Great app for all of your social networking needs. And here I have it installed. And you can it's really, just a simple application that you can use that simplifies everything. And it puts everything in columns. You can create your own columns. I'm scrolling through my columns now, and like one of them is just the regular front page of Twitter, and then one of them is the list that I created here, and then one of them is my mentions here. So, and you can actually customize each column for notifications or what have you. So yeah, I have to. I think it's a good app. I really do, and I've heard other people say it was too. So I have to give a shout out to it. Now, one thing it did do that kind of surprised me, and it actually I didn't know this, but my Droid actually has a yellow indicator light. I've never seen that before on my Droid. So kind of a little side bonus there.
You mean TweetDeck makes use of your bonus light?
Yeah, I mean, I never seen yellow before. I was like, oh, cool, yellow. I've never seen it. I've seen all the other colors. I didn't know it did yellow. So
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Quick question, Timster. Do you know if that connects to Identica?
No, I don't. It doesn't list Identica. I was actually thinking about that, but I don't see it listed. So I don't think it's supported yet.
Gotcha.
I hope it does.
Well,
Because I just signed up with Identica today. I don't know if you noticed, but
I noticed. Thank you for following me.
I'll say Seismic doesn't mention it either, but there is a trick to making it connect to Identica. I would hope TweetDeck would do the same thing because
Okay.
I know that that's a good app.
Yeah, I hope so too. We'll have to look into that. But well, cool. Let's see. I found this. This is a really awesome recipe application for
Food.
for food. Yeah, for making food for making actually award-winning food.
Yeah.
It's over 28,000 recipes tested and created from renowned magazines, popular cookbooks, top chefs, and leading restaurants. And it's got all kinds of really cool categories.
Epicurious?
Epicurious, yes, is the name of it. Epicurious. It's got categories here like Super Bowl, romantic dinners. Let's see if I go home here.
What is the recipe for a romantic dinner?
What's that?
What's a recipe for a romantic dinner?
A recipe for a romantic dinner. Let's see if we go in there and see what we got here.
Mac and cheese?
No. Pan-seared strip steak with a red wine pan.
Damn. Sounds romantic.
Yeah, and it shows pictures of it. Shows pictures and it gives you full recipes. There was over 64 of those romantic recipes, Steve.
Damn.
Yeah. So yeah, but what it also does is if you pick a recipe that you like, you can put it in your shopping list. And for instance, I picked baked crab dip, which is a cheese dish. I don't even think you can see it. But if you put it in your shopping list and you click on it, what it does is give you a full list of the ingredients that you need.
Wow, that's so awesome.
When you go to the grocery store.
Yeah.
So,
Did it give you that in checklist form?
Yes, in checklist form. I think I have my
Dude.
brightness turned on my
That's
camera.
really,
No,
really
that's-
cool.
that's okay.
Yeah, it's in checklist form.
That's
Yep.
smart.
So awesome.
Yeah, really neat. Just thousands of killer freaking recipes, man. That categorizes it, and
4th of
I
July,
thought it was
ice
nice.
cream. Wow.
yeah, let's see.
Sweet. I like it.
Chocolate desserts, soups,
Quenching
weeknight dinners. Oh wow, cocktails,
Quenching cocktails.
quenching cocktails. Yeah. All right. Well, that's really all I have on apps. But I have a little bone to pick with AT&T's.
Is this news?
No,
Okay. Because that's
I think it's news. It's just my opinion, real quick on something. AT&T's. Have you seen AT&T's commercials? Like. Oh yeah, their taco commercial. You know the commercial where everybody's in the office. It's an office
Yeah.
scene.
Oh yeah, yeah,
and,
yeah.
you have a
everybody's
bone
eating
to pick with
tacos
that
and-
commercial?
I thought that he creeped
Yeah.
you out.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You invited Eric.
Love that commercial.
You know the whole thing is he's got a service that's a little slower than everybody else's.
Right.
Okay. Well, yeah, it's funny, but I gotta with all of the texting and driving deaths that are in this country, they have the other commercial that kind of goes hand in hand with that is.
He's not driving. It looks like he is. He's sitting in the back seat on the right.
You sure?
Yes. I thought the same thing. But
Are
go
you
ahead and explain it just so people know what you're talking about.
Well, not to me when he's looking at it. I mean, he's no. It's got to be the driver, Steve. It looks
Nope.
like a different guy, but it's the same driver.
No.
Here's the links in the chat.
I think he's in the back.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Yeah, I really do. I think he's in.
Man.
I think he's behind the
Well,
driver.
you know what? I would hope so, because this guy is sitting there looking at his phone while it's downloading, and then laughing at it for another 10 seconds while he's doing 55 miles an hour down in the interstate.
Man, I thought the
I was
same thing at first. And I'm like, what? And I
But-
watched it again. He's sitting next to the girl in the back seat because at the end she taps him
But-
on the side
but
and
look,
he gives her the best look ever.
Right, but at the end of the commercial, it's the driver that has the not interested look. If you look at the commercial at the very end, the guy that's already seen it, he's just not interested, and he's the driver.
Tipster, the chat room is even on our side.
Yeah.
Really?
I'll say
Uh,
I hate that commercial because how that guy laughs.
That's so dumb, he says.
But I like the way he laughs like so hard at it, and then he refers to it as dumb.
Yeah, and then he goes with a completely straight face, and then he's annoyed when the others like it. It's a really good commercial. But no, Tipster, I thought the same thing. They would never do that. That would be the dumbest thing they could do.
I know.
Yeah.
But at the
Well, I'll tell
I'm
you-
just saying, at the end of the commercial, it's the driver that has the non-interested look.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll say I just did
Statement.
watch it again. I always said to myself it was the guy in the back seat, but when you look at it, the guy does look a lot like the guy in
Yes.
the back seat.
Yes. It's his brother. You didn't,
Okay.
you missed the prequel.
It's his brother.
All right. Jose, what do you want to go over for today? Oops, Jose, I can't hear you. Jose. Go ahead.
Is he muted?
Are you still muted, Jose? No, he's not muted. Okay, Jose. I just paused the recording. Let me see if I can figure this out.
It didn't show.
Oh,
How
There you go.
There you are. You didn't do anything, Jose?
I wasn't muted. It didn't. Normally, it shows me the thing right here on my screen, but okay.
All right, hang on. Let me start the recording again. Ready and go.
All right. Hey, well, today I just got a couple of simple apps and nothing major, nothing complicated, but it's just something I ran across. I hope nobody has mentioned it before, but the first one that I want to talk about is called No Lock. Let's see. Let me put a.
Not my lock, right? No lock.
No, just No Lock. And I think this one is kind of cool because like you know how when you're using your phone like every 2 or 3 no or less than every minute or whatever, and sometimes every time you go back to turn on the screen you have to unlock it again or something like that. You always have to swipe the thing to unlock it.
Not me.
So this one.
Go
What
ahead.
was
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I was bragging about the app I use, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so this one right here, it kind of deactivates the lock for a little while, And even if you turn off your light or your backlight, or you let it turn off by itself, you just tap the power button and you're back on the screen you were on without having to unlock it. So that's kind of convenient, because if you're constantly going back to your phone like every 30 seconds, 40 seconds, it's a pain to be unlocking it all the time. So this kind of makes it just a little bit convenient. And it has a widget, so you could put it right on your home screen or whatever. And you just, when you stop using your phone and you do want it to lock, you just tap the widget and it tells you it's locked.
That is a cool app. It looks familiar. Did anybody else bring that one before?
I don't believe so.
Okay, good. Go ahead. Okay, good.
Lord help you if you did.
Tim's I wanted to give you the chance.
Yeah, Jose,
I didn't want to
pardon.
single anybody out. I wanted to give you the chance.
Yeah, I was afraid of that.
That's cool.
You got everybody scared.
That's awesome.
And
No, that's what
I'm
gets me going
scared.
nuts all
I
the
checked
time,
the app list.
Yeah, we have an app list, Jose.
I haven't seen it. I've been wanting to look for that.
It's where is it? It's hidden in Google
It's
Docs
called-
somewhere, isn't it?
the app's-
No. Podnutz forums, Android App Addicts, first sticky post.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I've been trying to go by
It's called-
memory here.
It's
But,
called the Cover Your
okay.
Butt app.
Yeah, I know. I better next time. All right.
Go ahead.
So
That's
the
next
the
one.
second one is also another simple one, but I've been trying to find a way to work on my Google Docs without too much headache, of trying to get to my docs and all
Right,
that.
right.
And I've been doing it through the browser with the mobile Google Docs site is pretty cool actually to do that. But other than that, this little app right here that I found, it's a very simple one, but it gets to the point. You can view your folders, you can view your docs that you have in there, whether they be notes or spreadsheets or whatever. And then you can just tap on one, open it, and edit it and save it again, and it automatically syncs with with the cloud.
It's GDocs, right? You're talking about.
Yeah, GDocs. But I saw a lot of them.
I used to use GDocs, and I had a problem with it. It would not sync, and every time I tried typing with it, none of the letters would show up until I closed the keyboard, and then all the letters were there. So
I had problems with it too. It just didn't seem very intuitive, but maybe it's very different now.
And we did talk about it before.
Oh,
But it has gotten better.
it has.
I
it has.
have to say it's gotten better.
And Steve C, I'll tell you, with some of my application, it depends on the keyboard whether or not I see that artifacting where you type and nothing happens, and then when you hit enter or close the keyboard, all the text pops up.
So it depends on the keyboard I'm using.
I believe
Okay.
for me with 3 apps, I cannot use my shape writer keyboard.
Okay. I had a feeling, but I liked blaming GDocs instead.
sometimes it's just easier that way.
But then I started using.
killing it. Sorry.
No, my bad. Then you started, like you said, you're using the browser, Jose, too. I used that for a while, and now I might use the Gina Trapani app, but before I go to that, what I'm using now is Remember the Milk. You could enter stuff so easily in Remember the Milk. Boom! It pops up a bar at the top of the screen. You type whatever you want, and you can type in the day you want it due, the date, or you can just leave blank, and it just all goes into the bank. It goes into your little bank, and then you could sort it out later. But that's my fastest way of entering data that I've figured out so far is using Remember the Milk. But that's why I want to use GDocs when I think of something and I want to just dump it into the phone as fast as possible. And because I guess it was the keyboard I was using that GDocs wasn't working, but that's why I stopped using GDocs.
Well, and Jose, 2 quickies. I see GDocs, IO extras, and then I see GDocs in rich format, 2 extra apps for GDocs. Do you use either of them?
No, the only one I've tried is hold on, I don't see which one you're talking about. But the
you
only
use
one
one
I
by
used was that
WildArt.
one right there that I posted.
By WildArt.
And I mean, I've tried other ones, but I don't even remember the names because I didn't like the way they worked. So I don't even remember the name.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Pretty much. Yeah, but I know there's so many of them out there, and I probably tried, I don't know, 4 or 5 of them. And actually, I've been using this one for probably a week and a half now, and so far I like it. I haven't had any problems with it.
Maybe I'll give it another shot. The one you're talking about, though, it's GDocs by WildArt. That's the one you're talking about.
That's the one I'm talking
Yeah.
about, yeah. And the reason I like it is because when I want to make a note to myself about a subject that I want to talk about on my podcast, I kind of want to be making an outline as I go during the week, and then this lets me just add to whatever I already started.
Oh yeah, totally.
So yeah, but that's it for that one. Now I'm really afraid to bring you the last one. But anyways, I know that Dor mentioned one of them before, to transfer files to and from your phone to your computer, wirelessly.
Right.
But I think this one is a little different. I really hope it's not another one that he talked about. But this one right here, what it does is it basically you start your app on your device.
What's the name of it?
It's a Wi-Fi Explorer.
Okay.
Wi-Fi File Explorer. I'm sorry,
It's okay.
put the link. Yeah, so it starts up the app and it starts the server on your phone, and it gives you an IP address and a port number that you just go to your computer and you enter the IP address and the port number on the address bar, and you automatically see the whole file system in the phone and the root of the SD card. Of course, you don't see the system folders and all that, just your folders that you added in there, documents, pictures, whatever, music. So, and if you want to transfer, like let's say you want to transfer a whole bunch of pictures from your phone to your computer, you just go through the app, through the window on your Explorer or your browser and on the computer. You make a zip file with all the files that you want in there, and so it becomes one simple zip file, and then you can transfer the whole zip file to the computer. And also vice versa, if you have a zip folder on your computer with, let's say, 100 pictures or songs or whatever, and you just want to put them on the phone, you do the same thing. You can transfer the whole folder, and within the app itself, you unzip it, and then it becomes the individual items inside your phone.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah,
I thought so.
With apps like that, there's usually problems, big problems with connecting. That's usually the big problems with apps like that. Any problems that you found connecting, Jose?
I tried it on the Galaxy Tab, and I tried it on the Evo, and they both work perfectly fine.
Nice.
You just have to make sure you go on the router with your network or when your computer is connected to. That's it.
Do you need root? I'm guessing you don't need root because it only accesses the SD card.
I didn't even check on that, but well, no, actually you don't, because my tab is not rooted and it works.
Gotcha. Yeah, see, that's a plus. Every file browser I think I've used, you have to have root.
Yeah, me too.
This one's good then.
Yeah, it is. Good app.
So,
Did you hear what he said, Steve? He said his Galaxy Tab.
I know. Can't wait to get to that. We're gonna get to
we'll
that.
talk about that.
I can't wait. It came back down. Oh, I'm not gonna say anything. I'm not gonna say anything.
Don't say nothing.
Okay.
Not just kidding. All right. The last thing I want to talk about, I'm gonna put a link there in the chat room also. It's really for Evo owners. Anybody who has an Evo. I've rooted 2 Evos in the last I would say 3 weeks. And no, you're already rooted. You don't count. But what happened was the first time they brought me an Evo with 3.70 on the updates already. It was already updated to the latest 3.70 651.1. And let me tell you, it took me 3 hours to root that phone because of the problems with the new updates and all that stuff that they did. Every time they change something, they have to go back and redo the rooting process a little bit, right? So this guy, he finally came out with a single click. It's like the way I did it when I first rooted my Evo back in June. It wasn't as easy, but it was the closest thing that I found so far. So for anybody who has any of the newer updates, whether it's the latest one or a previous one, this is working with everything so far at least that's what the developer said. And it's pretty much you run the batch file that he has in his folder, and you have to have your phone connected and everything. It goes through the process of rooting your phone. It puts it into recovery. It flashes a custom ROM, which is the the Sprint Lover's ROM, and it flashes the flash recovery. It does everything for you, but there is one little point in the process when it reboots the phone where you actually have to hit a couple of buttons on the phone to let it continue. But the second time I did it, when it did work with the second phone they brought me, I did it in like 5 or 10 minutes.
Really?
It was so something must have been wrong with that other phone, because the guy told me that they had already rooted it once and then he took it back to his friend at Sprint and he fixed it. So something was not right in that phone the first time that it didn't work.
Cool.
So yeah, but that's pretty much all I got. So I just wanted to bring that up I know there must be a lot of Evo owners out there, and I'm sure they want to be rooted, and that'll do it.
Awesome. Yeah, there is. I definitely know. I was at the YMCA working out, and the guy had an Evo, and he was talking about it. He loves it and stuff like that. And I'm like, how much battery life you get? He's like, oh, it lasts about almost a day. And I'm like, oh, you got to root it. And he's like, what? I'm like, you got to root it. But I forget how I did it, and I don't really know how. So I gave him Door's email address or something.
Oops.
But if there's a way to, he's a nice guy. He was a nice guy. I knew Door would hook him up. But I know that people want to root, they just don't know how. So any advice you give them on that would be great.
Yeah, and I'll just back up, Jose. If you root it and then you don't do anything with it and you just leave it rooted, permissions can get a mess, a skew, if you will, or something. Because like on the Liberty ROM, it actually, like the Mac desktop operating system, has a place in there to fix permissions. So they acknowledge that once in a while, permissions can get a little flaky and you'll lose part of your root. And then it will cause the process of rooting to be a tumor.
Okay, well, I know that I don't know if it still has it. I'm sure it does, but I haven't used it in such a long time because I use Amen Raw Recovery now. But I know that I believe it was the root what was it called? The root manager or the raw manager.
Raw manager, yeah, that's what I want to use Amen Raw. I just can't figure that thing out.
Oh, it's so easy. Actually, I told you last time. Remember, if you go to the raw manager, way at the bottom, if you say flash alternate recovery, that'll flash the Amen Raw recovery.
I think I tried, but maybe I did something wrong. I'll try it again.
Oh yeah. Okay, well, that's it. I think that's all as far as the apps and everything go.
All right, Steve D, why don't you hit us up with your apps?
Sure. I have the first one is I don't think there are a lot of apps that are like this, but it's so simple. It's just called Shopping List, but I think there are a few apps that are like this. I found one that's really pretty neat, and it's called the Shopping List. But when you look for it, there's like a whole bunch of actually, you know what, I had it up here. Let me give you the link here. And it is basically a very simple app that just is a shopping list. Oh my God, I'm having technical difficulties over here. There it is. Okay, and it's a pretty basic app, but you can go shopping with it and put it like shopping mode, and then and it looks like the app looks like a kind of like a piece of paper, like a crumpled up piece of paper. Yeah, like a little crumpled up piece of paper in your pocket. You know,
that's pretty cool.
That's cool.
And you of course as you go throughout your week or your day, you can jot down different things in the app that you might need, and it's just really a text app, and it's a lot like a to-do list app. And then when you're actually shopping, you put it in shopping mode, and then you can actually you don't cross them off the thing, they just become deleted. You can also put in multiple places in the app, and you add the stores with your own name, so you can call, shop, and stop anything you want, and then you can put things that you might need throughout your day or throughout a week, whatever it is, for all the different stores that you might shop at throughout the week. And so that when you're there, you don't forget, oh, I should have bought that when I was there. Now I have to go back.
Right.
You know, you don't have to deal with that, which is pretty neat. Or the worst is that nagging feeling of, I wanted something here, I just can't remember what it is. But you went there anyway for something else.
Right.
You know, that kind of stuff. So it's pretty cool little basic app.
Good one.
Yeah, that's a pretty good app. And this one's a much better app. And it's called nobody's ever mentioned it, at least that I remember.
We'll be the judge of that.
Okay. Newegg. Newegg Mobile.
No,
Yeah,
it's brand new, so we didn't have a chance.
Was that in news?
It's new. It's less than, I'd say, 3 weeks old.
Oh, really? Okay. So I was wondering why I didn't know about this.
Link it up, Steve.
It's really pretty cool. It's great. It's a really, really good app. It has a lot of great stuff in it. I mean, it really is like browsing the website, but in an app form.
Oh, the only problem is you can't use podnutz.com.
Ding. Oh, sorry.
I didn't think of that. Wow.
That's okay. You can use this for research and then go on your desktop.
Yeah.
Just
That's what everybody should do. What? Can you
That's what I
actually
always do.
purchase
I mean, I always
it?
have multiple tabs of Newegg open, and then whenever I make my final decisions, and I go to podnutz.com/Newegg
Sweet.
to make my final purchase.
Thank you, Timster. At least somebody's looking out for the network.
I do it on eBay.
Wow.
Oh, man.
I panned right to Steve D after I said that. Oh, cracked myself.
Feel the heat.
Well, you know what? I'll be honest. I'm perfectly honest with you. I never thought about buying anything through the app because it just seems weird to buy something. Like, I'm not gonna buy a hard drive through my phone. I don't know.
I'll tell you.
just
I'll
me.
tell you that battery I got shipped to Pennsylvania, and I now live in Florida that I never got. I did that on my phone with the Amazon site, and it went to the wrong place. And I could have sworn it said the correct address when I bought it, but then when I came home and checked, it said it was getting shipped to the other place. So I don't like buying things like that on phones either. It's just not smart. podnutz.com/Newegg.
But this is great to know throughout your day. It looks like you even scan. So if you want to know, well, if you want to do a quick, this would be really cool. If you want to price quote a customer because they want something, like, and you forgot what the price is for a new 2 gig, 2 terabyte hard drive, you just pull out your phone and go, and then you could look at your phone at the price list
And double it.
and then now you double it or whatever you're gonna do to the price, and then quote the customer right then and there for that part.
And then you show them, you say, here, look, and you just take your finger and you cover up the price with your finger.
Yeah.
This is good. It's a good app.
And so then I have another little quirky thing I noticed about Dropbox. So what I use is Advanced Task Killer, and how I use Advanced Task Killer, I set the settings so that if you look in the settings of Advanced Task Killer, you can have it so that you can set the level of killing apps. And there's different levels. One of them is crazy, so I set mine on crazy, and then I also set it on so that every time the screen blackens, that it clears the list. And then, but you can also deselect apps too. So I also deselected, I also added it to the status bar, and then I deselected itself because it will kill itself. And also I deselected a few other apps, little ones here and there. And one of the apps I didn't kill, I didn't stop was, I didn't stop it from killing was Dropbox, and that was a mistake. And I was wondering why Dropbox would occasionally just drop out. Like, I would have Dropbox sending multiple pictures to my Dropbox folder, and it would just, in the middle, if it got killed by Advanced Task Killer automatically, it wouldn't actually leave this, like the status bar. It would actually just freeze in the middle of a transfer, and it didn't make any sense. And the only way to start the transfer back up was to actually try to send another file over to the Dropbox, and then suddenly magically it would start going through them all again. And then for whatever reason it would freeze, and I never connected it that it was actually killing it each time. And so I added it to the no kill list on Advanced Task Killer, and that was a pretty easy fix.
Cool.
Yeah, I'll say it's kind of like the Windows Task Manager, and if you right-click on a process, you'll notice 2 end task. One is a process tree. I think the file transfer is like a sub-process that calls back once in a while to Dropbox. So when you kill Dropbox, when it calls back, it just sits there and goes, duh, and it won't do nothing. And it will stay in the status bar. I've seen like 2 or 3 apps do that where it will stay in the status bar, but you killed the app.
Yeah. I didn't think it would be in the status bar if it was killed. So I didn't. That's why. Well, I didn't really put 2 and 2 together. Really, I didn't really think, because I don't even think about it killing apps when I don't even, because once I set it, my battery life increased. Everything was a little nicer on the phone, but never thought about it having problems with the apps.
I'll tell you, I haven't had to use Task Killer. I don't remember pressing that in the last month with the flash ROM. So I know Jose doesn't want to hear about Fresh anymore, but I love Fresh.
Yeah.
All right, Dor, why don't you go over that bit of news you were going to talk about, and then we'll go around.
Okay, cool. I first had 2 questions for the community and for you guys. Can anyone out there call Skype over 3G anymore? because the hacked version I had, I noticed like 3-4 weeks ago, doesn't work. And I've been searching and I cannot find a Skype APK that will let me make calls over the 3G data network.
I can't.
It makes me mad. Well, hopefully someone else out there has a APK file they'll be willing to share. Secondly, I'm looking for a location-based task thing, a to-do list kind of thing. Something where I can say, when I show up at these coordinates, pop up and tell me I got to do this. When I pop up to those coordinates, tell me I got to do them. I've seen a couple, and to me, they're not very good. I'll just say that.
Really?
I would love it if somebody could give some recommendations to us for a change. You know?
Sure.
And the two quickies I want to go over really quick. Droid-life.com had a little article. Motorola Zoom XOOM will most definitely not have Motorola Blur. It's a Google Experience device. So it's going to be as pure Android as you can get, which I love. Still can't afford the device, but I love that Motorola is starting to get away from blur, and it seems pretty official that the next generation phones that come out are going to be very light on the blur or absent of blur.
Blurless.
They'll be a very like Nexus S experience,
Right.
if you will.
It'll be sharp instead of blur.
Exactly.
What device was that, Door?
The Zoom XOOM.
Oh, the Zoom. Okay.
Yeah, it's the tablet, which I
Alright.
believe is going to come out in 7 and 10-inch tablets.
Really? It's coming out in a 7?
I'm 99.999% sure it's going to be both a 7 and a 10.
percentage. That's a good percentage.
Of course, I've been wrong billions of times. I can get my wife down here; she'll validate that for me. The next quickie I just thought was super funny and interesting. CNET News. The name of the article is "Researchers Turn USB Cable into a hack tool." What it is they basically hack the phone to make it to when as soon as you connect it to a device or a Windows computer, it will run scripts and try to pound the operating system and basically pwn the device. Get root admin system access on the computer.
That's pretty cool. And it says owned on there. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, I love it as a proof of concept. And so now, if I want, I can tinker with my phone, go up to somebody and say, oh yeah, that thing. Yeah, I got it on my phone. Go ahead and plug it up to your computer.
That's great.
Because, of course, everybody thinks about thumb drives being dangerous. No one thinks about an Android device being dangerous.
Very good point. If they're running that old computer, what is that, a Latitude, they deserve to get owned.
Well.
XP.
Now, and this should be operating system agnostic. That's the best thing about it. These types of exploits, as long as you fashion them correctly, would work on any operating system, even Commodore 64 if it had a USB port, I guess. But you know what I mean.
I know what you mean. Okay. Going over to Jose to talk about the tab, or did you other guys have anything to say before we do
I have just something real quick
Sure.
to say. What comes to your mind whenever you think of the Android smartphone market in Dell?
Streak,
That's
It's Streak.
that's the first thing that came to my
Okay.
mind too.
or
Very
the
good.
underwear streak, as I call it.
Okay, but an Android phone. So, what comes to your mind when I say Alienware and in an Android phone?
I think of a super expensive streak.
I think of gaming.
Okay, well, take a look at that.
Or-
Alienware is actually coming out with an Android phone, and it is almost a complete replica of the classic trademark Alienware systems that they sell. So
This is
I
like
really don't know.
retro. It's got a freaking dial pad.
yeah, and I'm not really. It's got a. They're calling it a joystick actually, and I don't know
don't
whether
like it.
that's just one of those little thumb pads or thumb track balls or I don't know, but it's definitely coming. So
If it looks like this, it's the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
I know.
Yeah, I don't like it.
But
That's
I
why
gotta
I
say, the
said
worst
what
thing is
comes to
people will
mind,
buy.
so, but it's just interesting to note.
It is interesting. It better not look like that.
It looks like
Yeah.
in front of my computer, but my computer doesn't look dumb.
$50 says it looks like this.
The door's 99.99% sure this is what it's going
Just
to look
because it's Dell. I mean, how many
like. Yeah.
things they make are visually pleasing?
I'll tell you that John from Evernet on the last Podnutz Daily, he finally got Android 2.2 on his Dell Streak. That's got to be badass on the Streak. Streak is nice form factor.
Yeah,
But-
I concur. But see, I would have rooted around that thing. Yeah, I'm not going to mention it, but go to the forums, Android App Addicts. There was a posting in the last 24 hours. The guy posted it's a porthole to ROMing your device. And all it really does is you go there, click your phone, and it tells you all of the possible ROMs you can throw on your device. I'm not going to say it's a complete list, but it's a good start.
Huh. Very good. What a good resource the Podnutz forums are.
Indeed.
That is competition is good.
Yeah, that is amazing. I think there's been talk about that Verizon is going to offer the unlimited data plan, but then they're going to cut it back like a little bit into the future. So I don't know, I don't know if it's going to happen with Verizon or not, but knowing that AT&T is going to go back to unlimited, they might not cut that, after all.
Right. Gotta love that. That is really a good point. Competition rules.
They're scared.
Yes.
They're scared, very scared. Good reason. And the other one that I just want one-inch screen. It's the Samsung Fort. So it's kind of like, I would say it's almost like the Galaxy S for Metro PCS kind of deal. And it's going to be, not only that, it's going to be
The bills are so much less over there, aren't they?
It's like $40 a month, $50 a month.
not for that phone. For that phone, I think they're going to be $60 a month for unlimited everything.
Ah, well, then they're approaching Sprint. I don't pay much more than that. I pay $79.
I pay $72, and I get a discount with my job. 18% off. I think so.
Damn.
But yeah.
So okay, not good Metro PCS. Then they got to lower their prices again.
Well, and I know
Okay.
with them, the devices themselves come in much under the prices we have to pay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
I
too
just
much.
wanna-
I bought a Metro PCS phone to get a smartphone just a couple years ago. You have to pay in the hundreds. 150,
Yeah.
200. I mean, it's not that much cheaper. I bought the cheapest one they have. It was $79. I have to admit, I love it, but it's Metro PCS. If you leave your city, you can't use it.
Right.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
for that much limitation, and they're still going to charge like $60 a month, I don't know. Makes me.
Hey, Steve. Before
Check. And now they can hear you. Sorry about that. But
Okay.
it's still on the recording, so don't worry. It's being recorded. Everything you said was recorded.
Yeah, that's true. No problem.
Okay, so you guys did miss what Jose was saying, but it doesn't matter because he wasn't talking about the Galaxy Tab.
Yeah,
Just
not
kidding.
yet.
I'm just kidding. Go ahead, Jose. Continue.
Well, basically, I like I told you on that email that I left you last week. I went ahead and got it, so obviously it's right here.
Oh,
It's
it's so nice.
It's a beautiful device. I really, really like it so far. And it has, one of the things I really like about it is that it has its own built-in task manager, so you don't even need to use like the the one that we always use. Oh, it's too bright right there, huh?
Yeah, but your screen is your picture's really small, so the resolution's not going to be that great.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, no problem. But other than that, I mean, like one of the things I wanted to show you guys, hopefully you can see this, to all the people that say that Flash video doesn't play good on here.
I'm going to make you full screen. We got to see this.
Okay. For a little bit.
Oh wait, I can't.
Not that full.
Oh, wow.
They can't hear us. They can't hear us. Oops, sorry, Jose. Hang on. What a cluster mess I'm doing.
What are
here.
you doing?
I try to do something on the fly, it just never works out. So
I see an eyeball.
Okay, check. Okay, now go ahead, Jose. Now we're full screen and you could show it. No, you're saying for people who say Flash doesn't run good.
Yeah, for people who say that Flash doesn't run good, look, I'm running the live stream right now, using Wi-Fi, and it looks perfectly fine, and it doesn't stutter. Obviously, on the video there, you're probably not going to notice it.
That's just really awesome. Look at that.
Oh,
Man,
man.
that's so
I can't get it not to reflect.
No,
Okay,
it
there we
looks good. Looks good.
That is awesome.
Yeah,
Wow.
it is. I mean, it is. So far, I like it a lot. The only reason the battery life has been okay. I could usually go. I mean, I don't use it like a lot during the night because I'm working, but I use it during my breaks, and off and on. Other people play Angry Birds on it and watch videos on YouTube, and I could normally go 2 days without charging it.
Wow.
That's not bad. And other than that, I mean, the calendar app, I mean, everything is just it's nice. I think Samsung did a good job. Like, here's the calendar app, which you can't
Dang.
see, but
You
gotta
just said the
find-
only thing
never
that
mind.
scares me about the device.
yeah. I
Samsung.
can't find the right angle. I'm sorry. But I mean, everything so far, obviously look at the size. This little case that I got for it. It's a nice little case. It even has the name on it right there.
Where'd you get that? If that's a Samsung case?
This is from Sprint. Actually,
How much
I
was the
bought it on-
case?
$39, I believe. And, not only that, you can also put it like this. So if you're watching videos or whatever, you can put it like this. So you could set it on a table.
Oh, it's got a stand. Ha ha.
It turns into a
that's
stand,
really
you see?
cool.
Look at that.
Like that.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
it's
great.
I know.
Beautiful. So anybody who's thinking about getting it, or I mean, like I said, if you don't want to get it with a data plan, it's going to be $4.99 now. But if you're not, if you don't want to bother, with your tethering all the time and having to always run down your battery, it's just $30 a month. It's not bad it's 2 gigs, but I think the majority of the time I'm going to use it for basically just for on Wi-Fi, and also when I really need to use it not on Wi-Fi, it'll most likely be at a customer's house, like if I need to research something or whatever,
Well, a couple things I have to ask you. Are you going to take that with you wherever you go, like a phone?
I normally do. I carry it with me. I don't necessarily carry it everywhere, but when I think I might have some time to kill or whatever, or I might need to do something on it, I definitely take it.
Second question. They give you a phone number with that too, right? Don't you have a messaging number? Is that a separate line, or can you make that line whatever you want?
No, you do have another number, and I tried texting. You have on the plan, it says unlimited texting. So but the thing about it is that you can make phone calls with the US versions on all the carriers. You cannot make phone calls, but if you root it, you can make it make phone calls.
No. For
Yes.
real?
I told you that a month and a half ago, man.
You told me that if you
Yeah.
root it, you can, Door. You said that?
Yeah. Go back, listen, like episode 13.
You did.
Okay. I believe you.
I'm not 99% sure the number, but I'm sure I said if you root it, there's a special app you can put on that will enable
Okay,
you-
I remember you did say that. Jose,
But
did you root
I'm
it?
sorry.
Did you root it,
No.
Jose?
No, not yet, because I haven't decided yet if I'm gonna keep it. I got 30 days to think about it, and right now it's looking like I am. It's good enough to say that I am gonna keep it, but I don't want to mess with it until I decide.
And so you got the 2 gigabyte plan. How much did it cost you for the device?
$299.
They just lowered it to $250.
That's only with T-Mobile.
Oh, you
I
serious?
believe.
Mm.
Yeah, and I don't want to have another bill. That's why I just wanted to add it onto my to my other bill. And the funny thing is now that with 2 devices on AT&T, I'm still paying $18 less than I was paying on AT&T.
Wow.
So yeah.
You mean
Yeah.
you mean 2 bills on Sprint?
Well, it's one bill because
I mean
but
1 bill on Sprint you're paying less than AT&T.
Yep.
Right,
I'm paying
okay.
about 100. It'll be about $102, $104, and then AT&T I was paying about 120.
Okay. I'm probing you because every day I wake up, I think about trading my phone in and just getting the tab as my phone.
Well, and here's one thing I wanted to add to him. He bought 2 gigs. I can tell you my experience now with my Chrome netbook. I use far less bandwidth than I thought I used. I mean, at home, I pound it
Right.
absurdly. When I first got my Android device, I was just doing stuff because I could. And with Antorn on, I will say my usage has probably increased dramatically. But when I'm not doing that kind of stuff, and I'm just browsing and I'm just doing email and that kind of thing, I'm not using close to the bandwidth I thought I was using.
How much do you use a month?
That gig I bought, I still had, I think it was like 300, like 200 and something meg left at the end of the month.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not worried about using 2 gig. I would definitely get on the 2 gig plan. It's $30 a month, right? I would definitely get on that.
Steve, you should get it, then definitely root it because you don't have to worry about updates.
Yeah, did they make cool?
It's a Samsung device. You
Oh,
don't have to worry
yeah.
about them updates.
There you go.
I don't care. I would root it anyway, but can you get cool ROMs for it? Jose would know this.
They do have ROMs for it. They do have a developer page at XDA, where they're actually rooting and making ROMs and all that stuff.
Right.
But, see, people wanted me to hold it to my head so you could imagine what you're gonna look like when you're making a phone call.
That looks
He
cool,
doesn't care.
man.
He loves it.
Oh my God, hold on.
That looked even cooler. Did you see that? The lights went off and he had a glowing phone to his head.
That's perfect. See, I could use that.
Yeah.
What a nice thing. What a nice thing that is. I love that thing.
Yeah, I gotta say it is, and it's just I'm really happy with it, and it's obviously as thin as the iPad and all that. It's just nice.
Yeah.
I don't like the white back, but luckily it's in the case, so I don't have to worry about getting dirty.
Even though it's white, it's still a better texture than the Verizon backing.
You still don't like that one? I like that graphite one.
Yeah,
But another real quick thing I wanted to mention about, because I hear a lot of people complaining now that Sprint started charging. I don't know if you heard about it. $10 for every phone now for the data, even if it's not a 4G phone.
On
Remember?
Sprint?
Yeah, they started charging the $10 premium for any smartphone now.
Oh, really?
But people complain about it. Okay, why am I gonna get paid $10 an hour or $10 more? But the way I look at it is, I put it to them very, very simply. I say, why are you gonna complain about paying $79 a month for unlimited data, because it's unlimited, even though theoretically it has a 5 gig limit for 3G, but it's not. It doesn't have a limit. But okay, why are you going to complain for $10 a month more for unlimited data when you can go to AT&T and pay $40 for your plan, $25 for your 2 gigs, and then if you get the text messaging plan, that's another $20 on top of that for unlimited texting. Okay, so you're already up to that same price, and you only have 2 gigs. And if you happen to go for every gigabyte that you go over, it's $10 more. So
I would
what's the complaint?
Well, if you put it that way, not. But like people like to complain when prices get raised. I would.
Yeah.
I would still complain.
I have a lot of people at work. I'm basically the phone guy at work or the technology guy at work for everybody. But a lot of people ask me, well, should I just get the 200 megabyte plan or 250? And I am like, you better not ever do anything on that phone if you get that plan. Just don't watch videos and be very careful with the browsing of the web pages and all that.
For what? For 250 gigabytes, you said?
No, megabytes.
Oh, megabytes. Yeah, that's a little scary.
I can use that. I can use 600 megabytes in one day.
Yeah, especially with a device like that, which is like it's meant to watch videos and do big stuff on.
Yeah, and they tell me, oh, well, I don't really do anything. I was like, you don't do it now because you don't have a phone that can do all that.
Exactly.
So,
well, keep us posted on that. I'm really interested in it. I really still like the tab, even after watching all the CES stuff, even after watching all the new stuff that's coming out. I still like the tab.
Yeah,
call me crazy.
I think with the rooting, you are going to be able to put honeycomb on it because the developers are going to do it, and they already said that nowhere does it say that you need to have a dual core processor to run honeycomb.
Right.
So
that was a big rumor.
Yeah.
All right, we have one email. Should I read that, or does anybody else have anything else they want to go over?
I said two quick quickies, super quickies. One, I did my first paying job to root and to Rama device.
Nice.
Yeah.
Was it the guy from the YMCA?
No.
Okay.
The bad thing was it was at my job, so I didn't want to take the guy's phone overnight. So I said, I'll call this my lunch. And while I was doing it, I told him to go get me a Captain Harvey's cheesesteak.
Wait, was that your payment?
No, part of payment, because that's only like a $7 thing.
Cheesesteak.
Exactly. Secondly, FTW XDA forums. I'm 99% sure everything there is open source, and if it's not open source, they will not let you post it there.
I thought you were going to take off your pants there for a second.
No, I'm not Steve D. I'm not Steve D. I wanted to show you the level of dedication I have. This is in my wallet.
Maryland's biggest steak sub. It's a business card sized picture of a cheesesteak. What is it? Like a rewards card?
No, it's just a business card for the best cheesesteaks, period. I have never in my life had a better cheesesteak than this. And I will say, if you buy one of these subs and you're a poor person, it can feed a family of 3.
That looked like a real authentic cheesesteak too. Man, I hate when people
peppers
show
and
me.
onions, Steve? Peppers and onions?
Of course, no peppers, onions, and cheese.
Okay,
I
good.
I will tell you, Steve C, this is the only place in the state of Maryland that gets the type of meat that they get to put on their cheesesteaks. No one else in this state gets that exact type of meat. They pay a lot, and they don't have a lot of profit margin. You'll know that when you walk in the place, and you'll notice the lack of teeth in some of the employees.
What does that got to do?
Awesome.
Well, that low profit margin, they can't afford to pay people. Half of the people that work there are the family members.
I see your angle.
And when you walk in, you see literally a 1.5-foot pile of meat on the grill cooking.
Right, that's the way to do it. That was a cheesesteak. I'm sick.
Dude.
I'm tired of people showing me pictures of them. I want to eat one.
Dude, I'll ship you one.
All right.
I'll overnight it.
All right. Can we do Amazon Prime?
I doubt that, but your weight plan might not like that.
Yeah, that's all right. I'm working out, so I'm burning it off.
Good. Well, you have to have protein to burn it.
Yeah. All right. Emails? What do you say?
Sorry for the derailment. I had to do it.
That's okay. Let's do emails before my face turns completely green. Hello, Steve. I've been listening to Android App Addicts. I must say Android is very cool. I don't own a Droid phone, but I do use an Arcos 43 with 2.2 installed. And you can check that out at arcos.com. It's the Arcos 43. I don't know which one that is. Is that the 7-inch, 8-inch, or 9-inch? Anyway.
I think that's the pocket one.
Okay. I thought I might share an app I found for listening to your great podcasts in my very bouncy truck. It's called CarCast. It has very easy, large buttons, a slider bar to move forward and backward in case you miss something, easy podcast selector as well as standard play, pause buttons. There's a large microphone button that, if hit, will pause the podcast and allow you to speak and record a memo for later review. Damn, that's pretty awesome. This is the free version, which Door will approve of. There's a paid app. There's a paid app of CarCast also, but this seems to have all the features I would use. I use a generic device holder in my frost heave abused 4x4 heavy duty truck to hold my Arcos, and I haven't missed a button yet. I cannot say this about my Sansa, constant rewind, restart, etc. So to me, this is a blessing. I get to listen to you and Steve with ease, and Timster and Jose, and your other great guests, of course. Thanks again for your excellent podcast. That's from Ray. P.S. I gave Android a try on my NetVertible Asus Note netbook. This is one of those tablet netbook combos. It works awesome. The touchscreen is perfect, so much nicer than Ubuntu Remix or Easy Peasy Linux. So he used Android. He used Android on his Asus convertible tablet or notebook. Neat.
Yeah, and I tweeted today a posting. I don't know where it's at because I tweeted it. It gives you quote unquote step-by-step ways of how to install Android 2.3 or Gingerbread on your x86 computer.
Ooh, that would be a neat little project.
Yeah, but without the touchscreen, I'll say it, because we know how to use it, it is much easier to use without the touchscreen. For somebody totally new to it, they're going to need to like talk to somebody or watch a video or do a good amount of experimenting.
Yeah, it reminds me a little bit of my Google TV. There's no touchscreen, so it's the same deal. Okay, anything else, guys, before we end off? All right.
I still sing 80s songs to my phone.
I still think that you got that song subliminally in your head from the Black Eyed Peas. They're playing it all the time.
Where?
In the airwaves. You're picking it up somehow. Your head must be an antenna.
The filling is picking it up.
Dor, where can people find you?
Easiest place, send in a voicemail or email at doorgeek at gmail.com or doorgeek at podnutz.com.
All righty. Tim Sturr, where can people find you?
Real quick, I went back looking at the YouTube video of the AT&T commercial, pausing it, freeze framing it, back and forth, listening to the chat. You're right. The guy is in the back seat. Thank God.
Right.
My Twitter, Timster_. That's my new Twitter. It's no longer Tim 3.147.
So it's Timster with underscore spelled out?
No, Timster with the symbol underscore after that.
Timster under dash score?
No, just Timster.
I'm messing with you. Okay.
You're right.
And he's on Identica at Timster.
Okay. Timster on Identica.
Oh, yeah.
Timster underscore dash com on Twitter.
Yeah.
No, Timster underscore on Twitter. All right. Jose, where can people find you?
www.computerdoctor.com with a Q. And also that's my Twitter name, the same with a Q. I don't tweet anything really. When I do tweet, I'm probably going to do it in Spanish, but that's what the word's at.
Well, if you guys want to learn some Spanish, follow Jose on Twitter.
You can always use the Google Translator to translate it.
There you go. Steve D, where can people find you? Oops, are you muted? Yes?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was sneezing before.
That's okay.
You can follow me on Twitter, SMD Steve, and then you can also check out my blog. It's StephenDMiko.com.
Very good. Thank all you guys for being on the call. I appreciate it, and I'm sure all the folks do too. And I want to thank you guys who are listening, watching, streaming. Thank you for watching me and my green face here, which I will change by next show, I promise. And everybody else here on Android App Addicts, hope you liked the show. Stick around. We're going to do Nuts at Night in about 15 minutes here. See you guys next time.